We're going to continue talking about AI, but in a slightly different vein. And joining me on stage now is Mukesh Bansal. Uh, you know him as the founder of Myntra, then there's CultFit, there's now Nurex. So, Mukesh, let's take a seat. And the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that everyone talks about AI. They have for the last 2 years now. But for most people still, particularly in the retail space, AI is still about just using ChatGPT and getting some marketing message out. Where do you see it actually helping in retail?
Yeah, I think we can look at AI. I mean, AI is headline news every single day, and in some ways, a great thing that everyone is using ChatGPT on a daily basis because the people who've been using it for last say 1 year would have seen tremendous improvement in the quality of insight that AI is able to generate. You can almost feel it is getting more and more intelligent, and the obvious question that comes, what can it do for my business? So I think people started doing a lot of pilots starting last year. This year, I am seeing things are starting to go into production. Most of the heavy activity today is in the things like call center automation. So, most retail businesses, if you're a B2C business, a lot of customers reach out to you. They reach out to you through email, through chat interface, or through voice interface. AI is already quite good to automate nearly 80 to 90% of those use cases. I'm aware of many clients, many in US, some in India as well, who are able to have these AI agents automatically respond to email queries, do resolution, call into backend API, and offer instant solution, which wasn't possible before. If you talk to some of this voice agent, you can barely tell the difference. It sounds very human-like, it's empathetic. You can talk to it for a long period of time. Other area where I'm seeing implementation is outbound calling. Many businesses have this lead qualification type of use case. You've got a lead, but someone needs to talk to the customer to make sure it's legit inquiry. And outbound voice agents are able to do that. Then there are numerous use cases on the back-end side. There are a lot of automation possible. Marketplaces have vendors that need to be managed. And so, catalog management, reconciliation processes. We are working on very large retailer in India, and we've identified 12 different use cases where an AI agent can automate and speed things up. Yeah, so it's if you fast forward a couple of years from now, I think if there are folks from retail in the audience here, I don't think there will be anybody in the audience who will not be using AI for some aspect of their business.
I actually want to come back to that, the last part of what you talked about. So the front-facing, the call center agents, the support agents, people are already building on that. But at the end of the day, the real benefit, whether it's for retail or for any business, is going to be how you use the AI, how you use the learnings that you have from that in streamlining your own business at the back end, whether it's inventory management, whether it's order placement. Where do you see that going?
I think there are few different lenses you can look at. One is which part of your business has large number of people, large number of relatively lower salary employees, where, let's say, take example of vendor reconciliation. As the number of reconciliation inquiries increase, if you are hiring a lot more people, so that's one area to look at. Because some of wherever we have the low cost resources, typically the work does not require too much judgment. It's just there are some set processes. Someone needs to just follow those processes step by step and then produce the output that you need. Vendor onboarding, let's say, if you're a large marketplace players, again, it's a very standardized process. So wherever you have a standard process and large number of people, I think that's an obvious place to start. The AI is very quick to learn from ingest your existing processes, and it will be able to replicate that. If you like, it can also enhance the process. It can identify bottlenecks and so on. So I think that's one way to look at. Other way is a lot of time, most business leaders, they know you can make your business better, either operationally efficient or better for customers if only you have more people. So if you have all the wish list roadmap items, now you can get a lot of those done at a relatively smaller cost. So as a CEO, I would look at, what would I like if I have 1,000 employees. I'll ask you a question. If I can hire 1,000 more employees at nearly free cost, what will I do? And whatever you want to do, being able to leverage AI for a lot of those use cases, is a good place to start.
So I can say for my business, 6 years, 7 years ago, where I had 40 people sitting listening to music all day, it's now down to 10 because we put the investment in AI. But that's the next question I have for you. Do you build or do you rent? Should you be building your own proprietary models? Should you be saving costs but maybe not getting as much efficiency by using SaaS services, by using cloud products? What's the right way to go? Because I know how much money I spent on ours.
I think the landscape for AI has dramatically changed in last 2 years. 2 years ago, if you wanted to do something AI, you had no choice but to build your custom models. But those were very use case specific. You needed to have that data, you train your own models, and it is able to do that one job really well. But with the advent of LLMs, I think it's completely changed. I think almost no one needs to build their own models unless you are a very, very tech-oriented company and has tons of proprietary data. I think for most people, I would say more than 99% of people are better off leveraging an existing LLM and building on top of that. Again, there are countless startups now which are going after all possible use cases. So in events like this, others, you can easily find those startups which are building a specific solution, and then you customize that for your context. That way, you can go live very quickly. The cost of experimentation is very low. If it doesn't work out, you can easily move on, try something else. So I think it's what the exponential growth of LLMs is doing is just in some ways leveling the playing field. It doesn't matter where you are a traditional business. Maybe you have used no tech in the past. It doesn't matter. Now I think the absolutely cutting edge AI is available to pretty much any business in the world to deploy.
Let's look at the other side of AI and where it can be applied in retail, which is in dealing with the customer. And one of the conversations that we've had is, can you use AI and digital signage to recognize my customer when he or she walks in, and then on the screens project or display something that is specific or relevant to them. Now, in theory, all this could happen, but are we then stepping on the privacy issues? If you're in Europe, you've got GDPR, which prevents you from doing something like this. At what point does the AI take over good sense and good business?
So first, from feasibility point of view, these use cases are already solved. Even at our gyms at Cult, and we have this Cult sports stores, we use these video-based technology to uniquely identify a customer who's walking in and generate an alert with the center manager in the Cult gyms or the store manager. So that technology is fairly easily available. For privacy, pretty much like in the past also, you always need to disclose. Customers should be aware of it. So I think you need to put that signage clearly that we are using this video technology and to identify for promotional purposes. People have been doing that in the apps also. Like when you install an app will ask for your permission, and you may or may not give the permission. Some of those norms will also evolve. I think as a responsible business, one needs to be aware of. But the kind of thing you can do from automatically identifying who is coming into your store, what activities they are doing, perhaps what clothes they are wearing, how much time they're spending, which aisles do they spend more time on, and so on, can lead to very different level of intelligence, which was just not possible. And that means, what we mean by customer service, what kind of experience we can create in offline environment is, I think, going to dramatically improve.
So in the retail space, now, you've seen the growth in the online space, the way technology helped over there. You're seeing the way technology is helping in the offline and brick and mortar. As a retailer, what would you say would be the best use of AI, the best use of technology, both as your business and in the interface with the customer? What's the wish list?
And this is, you're saying, as an offline retailer?
Let's talk about the offline, because
Yeah.
on the online, it's a lot easier to deploy the tech in the offline space.
I think many areas, again, see, most offline retailers in the past won't have a good customer experience helpline. The only way to be able to talk to someone is you have to come to store. You can easily set up AI-powered call center where customers can call in, they can, and it's quite cheap, so customers can easily have much longer conversation, inquire about products, replacement, refunds, availability, size, all those issues. So that's one. We talked about video technology. I think deploying that, very exact walk-in count, how much time people are spending, correlation between time spent in the store to what they are buying, conversion ratios, trends analysis, demographic profiling. Then all offline stores have to worry about inventory, reconciliation, cut sizes, and so on. So a lot of intelligence can power that analytics and generate insight for in-time replenishment, very quick, instant reconciliation of things. So overall, business can also become very, very, a lot of errors can be eliminated. It can be very efficient. And then if you have a lot of people involved in driving these operations, I'm sure there are a lot of areas to streamline cost. So your back-end, the overall cost of doing business goes down, which can lead to, again, much better margin profile. I really think, for almost all businesses, we know historically retail is a low margin business. If your P&L is, let's say, somewhere between 8 to 10%, I think you can add easily 1% per year in terms of your bottom line. And I think this will continue for next 4 or 5 years. So you're looking at easily 4 or 5% addition to your bottom line, which is in some ways, for some retail, it may double their income or add income by 50%. Yeah, so I think one needs to be very proactive about understanding this, doing experiments on ground, and then seeing where you're able to really move the needle for the business.
Okay, I know you're short on time, so I'm going to make this one final question now. What's your personal wish list for what AI could do?
Again, from productivity point of view, or from, again, from business point of view?
Whichever way you like.
Yeah, I think two things come to mind. One is, I'm always been a huge productivity enthusiast. I wrote this book, No Limits, about productivity 4 years ago. So for me, I want my personal AI to pretty much watch everything that's happening in my day and give me inputs on a daily basis in terms of how I can optimize my time, the meetings, preparation for that, follow-ups, and so on. Second, as a CEO, I want the AI to work with me and be fully aware about everything that's going on in the company, what different people are doing, what customers are doing, saying all the transactions, and every day tell me, like, what should I focus on? How can I, choose to spend my time on things which are most effective so I can make my day count and steer the company? I think AI...
Including telling you when you're wasting time.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. I think AI will become a very powerful tool for leaders and help them focus their time and energy to areas that truly matters.
Perfect. Mukesh, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've been strapped for time. You have to get to the other end of town, but you've taken the time out to share your thoughts with us. And I personally, and I think retailers across the country are looking at solutions like the ones you've suggested. Increase productivity and profitability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anish.